Alright, let's get out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment if you like. The Angel Next Door spoils me wrong. Episode 5 starts off with, oh, so they're celebrating New Year's now, and they're watching a movie about New Year's, so I can kind of guess what the whole episode's going to be about. That's it, that's the video. Peace. Oh good, you're still here, because if no one was watching, what would happen? So I think I've said this before, but in anime, phones aren't a thing, and no one really is addicted to their phones or anything. So when she gets on her phone, at the same time he gets on the phone, so it's not that awkward between them. But who is he texting? Well, his mom's texting about how she's cheering him on, hoping that she becomes his girlfriend, and that the dad's awesome to come over. And it seems like he doesn't really like his mom, but his dad's awesome. And then the most fucking stupidest thing ever happens. So he turns over to her and says, hey, my parents are coming over tomorrow, and if you want to stay you can, but if you don't, it's cool. And you won't believe that she just fell asleep right next to him, out of nowhere. Who does that? Unless she has some disease and she's dying by the end of the series, then I guess it's okay because she doesn't even know it. But if she's not, then fuck this show, because it's just a little cute girl falling asleep in front of someone's lap. And also like how even though she's falling asleep and he doesn't find that weird at all, he's like, wow, she smells really good, and she looks really nice. And he says she's really tired because she made a lot of food, but I don't remember anyone being really tired after making a lot of food. But maybe because she's about 16 years old, maybe she has the brain or the heart of an 8-year-old. And I get it, it's probably a fetish, guys are like babies, but this is kind of strange. So he tries to wake her up, and in his head he's thinking, how should I do it? Should I startle her? And instead of going, boo, really loudly, he goes, wah! And that's not where it stops. Then he says, alright, I have to take her to her house and put her in her bed. But no, instead he says, but she would think that's weird if I use her key. So I'll just put her in my bed. Instead of just putting her in her bed and leaving her there, he starts touching her face and stuff like that. And I think, alright man, you need to probably leave before something weird happens. And he thought that the next morning when he wakes up, she would be awake too. But nope, she's still asleep. So he goes over to her and says, wow, she's so dang cute. And then he starts touching her face again. And I think, alright bruh, start moving back. But it's that type of anime. He puts his hand on her face and she starts rubbing her face on the hand. And I think, alright, sure. And I don't know what's more weird, that he does that or that she's aware that he's doing it and she lets him just do that. After all that shit happens, then his parents come over and she meets them. I don't know why she stayed, but I guess she wants to meet his parents. So she meets him and his mom's really excited to meet her again. And she might have a thing for older guys because she says, is that his older brother? Clearly he does not look that young. If anything, he looks about 40 to 50 years old. And the mom's probably clearly 10, 12 years younger than him, because that's usually how it is in Japan. And so they get comfortable inside the apartment, and they're talking about what they've been doing with their lives and what's going on. And his mom tries to push the whole daughter thing really hard, because she says, have you guys gone to the New Year's festival yet? Because I brought some kimonos, and I wish that I had a daughter to give this kimono to. And I think, alright, relax. You're putting a lot of pressure that she doesn't need right now, because 1, he's being creepy, and 2, this whole family situation is new. So their parents somehow convince him to go dress up, and he doesn't put a yukata on at all. So he wears the exact same shit that his dad does, and I'll be honest, they don't look very good. I can't tell it's just because the animation looks really bad, or maybe the design's not very good, but at least it looks kind of business-esque. And they start talking about how back then he either got beaten up or he's anime and he starts beating up bullies. Either or, they're safe now and he's in a much better place. So they get through all that stuff of he compliments her, she shyly compliments him, and then they're off to the festival. So I could be wrong on this, and you guys let me know in the comments, but for some reason anime, when they're going to festivals, they always look like their parents, or they look much older for some reason. Is that a real thing? Is it just an aesthetic, or do they try to do that every day? I don't know. So it's pretty full there, and he says, so we don't get lost, give me your hand. And I'm thinking, alright, I see you, trying to move, okay. But then he takes a big L when he tries to say, hey, can I have some of your pie? And she says, why do you ask for pie if you didn't ask for that last time when we were having cake? And she gets very mad. And he says, well, I don't know. So now she's kind of distancing herself because even though they're friends, it's kind of weird. But then she says, she had a good time. I think it was really fun. And then what he does, I think, alright, there's a certain demographic that probably likes this, but not me. So he grabs her head and starts shaking her head. And she says, excuse me, what are you doing? And he just keeps shaking it. And I guess she just gets used to it and says, fine, you can do that if you want, but only to me. And I think it's that level where guys are like, oh, she's so great because she only lets certain people do it. And at the end of the episode, they're eating dinner and he says, well, it's kind of weird that people didn't see us that day. And not like someone would assume that I'm your boyfriend. And she says, no, you have really good qualities. And she gets embarrassed and they have a good time that night. And alright guys, peace.